is going on? Bar Down Breakdown, the live stream edition. And tonight we're hanging with our homie Ricky from the Seltzer Time podcast, holding it down in Worcester.
Oh,
Ricky,
yeah.
Ricky, what's going on, man? Long time.
I know, it's been a minute. It's been a minute.
It really was too long since the last time either we've been on your show or you've been on ours. But it's kind of cool, like the podcast community that we're a part of, right? Like,
Yeah.
We're all supporting each other. We're all homies. And it's a cool, like, little world that I didn't really know existed 5 years ago when I started doing this. And I've made legit friends from it. And it's super cool to keep in touch and to watch your homies continue to do their kind of passion projects as well. And I just love the whole premise of Seltzer Time. Like, yes, seltzer is a yummy beverage, but it goes way deeper. It's like a community-oriented podcast talking about all the cool, like your homies that are doing cool things in your city, the music scene in your city. Like, it's just so cool. And I have been daydreaming about, like, one day doing that for the music community, right? Like, having city-specific music community podcasts that are still kind of connected to each other and just like showcasing all the cool music that's, you know, coming out of their city. So I love that you guys are doing that up in Worcester, and it makes sense that your podcast name is the Seltzer Time, the home of Polar Seltzer.
Oh yeah, I'm drinking it.
Is that like the original flavor?
Dude, it's my favorite one. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's definitely, I'm very much alone in that feeling amongst like my seltzer friends. I don't know. It's just so good. I have like flavors like cranberry lime is probably my favorite flavor. But I don't know. There's just something about. I also had like a really heavy dinner. Like I got pizza and onion rings because like I'm like 7 years old. My wife's been super sick like all week. And so it's been like I've been like dad duty, helping her duty, trying to work all at the same time. And then today I was like, I need a pizza tonight. And I know it's like just a mental thing, but drinking like the unflavored seltzer feels healthier. So I was like, after crushing this entire like grease ball pizza, let me have a healthy beverage.
Dude, I must say the orange vanilla Polar is just like top notch.
That is probably the one that whenever we do a like, what's your favorite seltzer flavor? Or whenever anybody hits us up, for some reason, a lot of people will like travel and they'll DM our account and they're like, hey, where can I get Polar in, California or whatever? And I'm like, first of all, I don't work for them. I don't know, but you can also get it at CVS. So I just tell them that. And they're like, do you think they have orange vanilla? And I'm like, I don't know. It's always the flavor people ask for. I'm like, ask them.
It's a solid one, man. It really is.
It is good.
I'm drinking like knockoff, and I had to like bust it out, even though it's probably gonna just make me burp the rest of the episode.
Same.
The knockoff Aldi seltzer.
Nice.
But grapefruit's a solid flavor.
Yeah. So up here, like Market Basket, there's a bunch of like every grocery store has their own seltzer, whatever flavor or brand or whatever. And most of them, from what I've heard, are actually just Polar, but like white labeled. So you can save a whole bunch of money by buying like the Market Basket seltzer and you're getting the exact same thing as Polar. But
I'm going to need you to sneak into some Polar factories and figure this out.
I have tried. I've not tried to sneak in, but I've tried to like get in like legit. And they don't do tours. They'll take like there's a school. There's like one school that I've heard of that they will take a field trip through there once a year. But you can't just as like a normal 37-year-old man go on a tour of Polar, which is insane because they should let me do that.
I think they should. Like, I feel like you guys should be recording your episodes from in there.
That would be so sick. in
But
time.
Ricky, man, how long has it been now? Because you guys were doing it before we were. Is it like 6 or 7 years you've been doing your show?
Yeah, so we started Seltzer Time in 2018 as a podcast. But like Seltzer Time itself has been a thing since like 2014, 2015. And then it like outgrew, just me messing around and became like an Instagram handle, which is kind of how I linked up with Travis because him and I did not know each other before that. And people are like, hey, you guys should like work on something together. I don't know what. And so we got a coffee one day and he was like, I want to start a podcast. And I was like, me too. I already have a name for it. It already has like kind of a following. And we just ran with it.
So beautiful. But like what you're doing for your community and your city is just super special and appreciated, I'm sure, by everyone that's in your city. And like, I'm sure a lot of the small businesses that you guys showcase appreciate it as well. So kudos to you guys for doing it all these years. And if you haven't, go check out the Seltzer Time podcast. I know the name could be a little deceiving, right? Like, what, they just critique seltzer the whole time, but
we have,
more than that.
but
You have, but it's more than that. Like, you've had Kevin Lyman on your show. Like, it's also music focused, and it's awesome.
Yeah, we tried to keep it like, hyper local, but also we're interested in things that are happening outside of Worcester. And like a lot of people in Worcester went to the Warped Tour. So that was like a COVID thing also, where we just got super lucky with the timing of everything. And like Kevin was open to doing stuff. And it literally was just like a Twitter DM where I was like, hey, would you cool? I was looking through my DMs a couple weeks ago and I DM'd so many people at the like that one day, I guess. And he's the only person that got back to me out of all of the other like, shoot for the moon guests. So it was cool.
Dude, we were talking to Spencer from Pop Punk League, which is like a massive platform on TikTok right now. And I was like, dude, if you are considering doing some kind of like podcast or whatever, I was like, just shoot your shit. Like, shoot your shot no matter what. The worst thing that's going to happen is they're going to say no, right?
Exactly,
like,
yeah. Is he the dude that did the thing for like the Story So Far as like album launcher or something?
I believe so. Like, he's been working closely with Pure Noise, and like he's blowing up.
Noise. That's so sick.
Yeah. But either way, you mentioned how you're 37. I am also 37. And the truth is, it's not so easy to kind of keep your ear to the ground and discover new music and see what's going on in our DIY community. But like, our love for this community has never gone away, right? Like, that's ingrained in who we are as people, right? We were going to Warped Tour when we were 15 years old, 14 years old, like going to, I'm sure, all the holiday shows in Worcester. Like, this is a part of you, right? Like, life just unfortunately sometimes happens where you get a little disconnected from it. You can't go to shows every week like you used to. And it hurts me sometimes to not be able to go and support some of the bands that I've fallen in love with through doing the podcast when they're in town. But it's just reality, right? Like, I got 2 kids now, and having a show like this where we can just sit down for an hour and check out a few bands that personally I haven't listened to this week. There's a few I haven't listened to, and I'm sure there's a bunch that you haven't either.
Yeah, I recognized one of the band names, and everything else is brand new to me. So should be cool. Yeah, I don't get to go to shows at all anymore. I go to my daughter's very young. So the only show I've actually been to was the 4-year holiday show because it's like 10 minutes from my house, and those are the homies, and I had to go. It was great, but I missed like all the openers. I only caught Microwave, and I only caught half their set, but they were so good. I've never seen that band before. They were amazing. That was like the newest thing I found was Microwave.
Nice. And like, by my standards, Microwave's like huge.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I'm like super late to the boat on that one. But it was funny talking to like my friends, and I was like, "Have you guys heard of this band?" And they're like, "No, I have no idea." And I'm like, "I know they're big, but like I've never listened to them. I've never seen them." And I missed the first like probably 3 or 4 songs of their set, but they were phenomenal. It was awesome.
Oh yeah,
great band.
And I realized how old I was, honestly, the last Warped Tour, when I sat down in a seat the entire day. Because I was used to going to the Randall's Island Warped Tours back in New York, and then here in Charlotte, it's at like a big amphitheater.
Yeah, it's like that in Massachusetts too.
And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna sit in front of the main stages because they had like a main stage that was split in half. I was like, I'm just gonna like see what happens, and stayed there the entire day. But luckily, got to like discover movements like bands that have been for years now some of my favorite. I got to watch that day. So yeah,
I did that same thing for one of the Warped Tours. My Warped Tour like life was weird because I went to some shows as a fan, and then I worked the last like 10 of them that I went to. So it was like a very different experience. But one of those, I had a bunch of time where I wasn't doing anything in the middle of the day, and I was like, I'm just gonna sit in the amphitheater and like watch whoever's on for a couple hours. And it was actually the first time I saw Bayside that I can remember. I'm sure I saw them open for somebody, back in the day. But I just remember watching Bayside, and I was like, I never loved that band, but I always thought they were cool. And then I saw them live, and I became the biggest Bayside fan for like 3 years. Every time they came through Massachusetts, I was there, and I just like fell deeper in love with like Anthony's voice and just the whole vibe of that band. And it was because I did that exact same thing, and I was like, all right. I guess I should probably like chill more and watch bands.
Amen. Yeah. I talked about it last week, how I'm super jacked up for that Bayside Errors tour that they're doing.
I know.
That they just announced. And like, by luck of the draw, the opener for Charlotte is The Sleeping, which is like my
that's cool
local like band, right? Like that was one of the local bands that we would see when we were in high school.
That's sick. I wonder who's opening. I don't even know they announced openers for that, but I wonder who's opening the Boston dates. I think they're doing the Paradise on that tour, which is unbelievably awesome to see Bayside at the Paradise. It's such a small room. It's so much fun.
Nice. Yeah. Those are the best. Like the 500 to 1,000 cap rooms for a band like that are just...
It's crazy. Yeah. It's so sick.
Cool, man. Well, I guess we can jump into some tunes. That is why we're here. And this band came onto my radar, and from my understanding, only have 2 songs. And today was the release of the second one. So for the longest time, they just had 1 song. And it was a feature, right? And like bands that are starting out, that's the cheat code, right? Like get a feature on like some of your first tracks. And they had this band Inner Love, which is a Long Island band that I absolutely love. They released an album, Roscoe, that is still on heavy rotation for me. So when I saw that Inner Love was the feature, I was just like instantly in tune with this band.
Yeah.
But didn't check out that song yet because I was always kind of like keeping that in the background. Like, all right, let's like give this band some time to cook a little bit, and then we'll have one of their songs on the show, and then I can go back and listen to the feature song. But totally got my attention, so I'm super excited to check this track out. I believe they're a Southern Jersey band, so Southern Jersey, kind of Philly area. I would assume they probably got some Philly vibes.
Nice. I was gonna say it's a lot of my favorite bands come out of that area, so I'm sure this will have some kind of influence that I grew up on.
All right, let's check it out. All right, so this is... All
right. kind of that like into it, over it, moodily guitar.
Maybe this was for the best. I should stop being so pessimistic. I'll still blame you for the way I am. We ended bad, I still hoped we'd stay friends.
Right off the bat,
Admit it's what you wanted. When the year flipped, you pulled away and it all felt different.
I can't hear you very well. I can hear the music super loud.
On my moods becoming consistent. Instead of letting me explain how I've been feeling.
Okay. What did you just say?
Is it too late?
his voice, I can tell, definitely complements
You're gone,
Inner Love voice. For using Inner Love.
and I didn't
Okay.
even want
He has like kind of a Penny from the Starting Line sounding voice. I'm into it.
things felt off. I always tried to talk about it. You'd always pushed it off. You say it's in the past. We don't have to dwell on it. Now I'm losing sleep over things you took back and said to me. Like how you swore you'd never leave.
I love the
I
drums.
guess you just couldn't handle me. Since you left, I've lost weeks. Just wishing that you would talk to me. Hear your voice through the phone as it softly rings. And then I could ask you how you've been. And I'd ask about your kids. You say you didn't want any of this, and Sam, neither of us did. Then I tell you I'm sorry. You say I shouldn't waste my breath. 'Cause after everything I did, it was all meaningless.
I'm into it.
I'm totally into it. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but like I said, this is the first time we had to use Spotify rather than YouTube because it wasn't up there yet, and I think that the Spotify player I had preloaded, the volume must have just been jacked up. At least it didn't. At least it didn't go to my phone.
That's a good point.
I was a little worried about that, not gonna lie. But yeah, right off the bat, for track number 2 of this band, like Villa.
Yeah.
So I'm super jacked up to go back. Like I said, I absolutely love Inner Love. So having that feature on that first track, super excited. But like, yeah, you mentioned how it kind of reminded you a little bit of Kenny from the Starting Line's vocals. I could totally hear that.
Do you ever listen to Transit?
Hell yeah, I listen to Trance.
That band, like something about that band just now reminded me of like Listen and Forgive era Transit. Like the like da 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 ba ba. Like it's just, I don't know. That's kind of the vibe I was getting, which is a lovely vibe because I loved Transit.
Well, have you checked out Ella's new project
No.
from Transit? Yeah, dude. It's called Narrowcast.
Okay.
It's unbelievable. But yeah, Transit
Check it out.
is unbelievable, and Narrowcast is more, I would say, indie rock versus the pop
Okay.
punk, but still.
They were
Ella's
kind of
voice-
always on that, like, you know, they were in the pop punk world, but like if they continued on that track, they would have definitely outgrew it, in my opinion, for the better. Yeah, that's cool. Narrowcast,
Yep.
cool.
Yeah.
Check them out.
And Ella now lives here in Charlotte, so
I
don't-
did know that. Yeah, I
they
saw that they
don't play
moved
as
down
many
there.
shows here because I think there's also still some members back in Massachusetts. But
Okay.
yeah, but yeah, Villa, unreal. I'm super excited to check out more of their tracks, and also I don't even know if I said it because you probably didn't hear me name the track when Spotify started playing, but No Reason Just Coz was the track we listened to. They have 2 out right now, holding it down in South Jersey, man. So
I like it.
1 for 1 so far tonight. That was a cool track. Yeah, we were talking before we started to record that the Midwest emo sound is really taking over the DIY community, and it's those are the shows that are packing out the venues around town, at least in Charlotte.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Oh yeah. Like I said, there was a show here Wednesday night of a bunch of kind of local bands. There was one band from Long Island actually on the bill, but other than that, it was pretty much all local bands, and sold out the venue in town on a Wednesday night, which was just
So sick.
so sick. But they're all kind of in that Midwest emo world.
Cool. Bring it back. Let's go. I'm here for it.
Amen. All right, so let's head over now to YouTube so I can get some videos pulled up. But yeah, I guess we could go a little heavier because Straight from the Path released a new track today. I'm assuming that's probably the band that you were familiar with.
That's the band, yeah. They're not like Stray's so interesting because they're not a band that I don't put that kind of music on for myself unless I'm like, gonna work out, which I don't ever do anymore or really ever. But like if I'm doing something like that or like, playing hockey or whatever, like then I like some kind of heavy music. But Stray was definitely the band on this list that I was like, I know those guys. I follow Craig, their drummer Craig, pretty closely. Like through like work stuff and just like he's like the best personality. So yeah, I kind of know more about him than I do about the band, but check it out.
And he's like a huge podcaster these days too, right?
Massive. Yeah, it's kind of wild.
Yeah. But yeah, Tom from Stray is a big hockey fan, so we've had their guitarist on the podcast. And I just think like I believe his name's Andrew or Drew, has such a unique voice, kind of like you could possibly put in that like Knock Loose category.
Yeah, absolutely.
But they've been doing it obviously forever.
Yeah. I think if I remember correctly, pretty sure I saw these guys upstairs at the Palladium in Worcester. Trying to think of even when that was. They opened for somebody. I like went to a show with a friend, and I'm pretty sure Stray was like not even like direct support. I think they played second. It was kind of nuts.
Yeah, and no joke, like this video came out 2 days ago. Already has 36,000 views, which is just bonkers to me.
So crazy.
Yeah, but it's Kubrick Stare is the name of the track. But let's add it to the stream and check this one out. Jeez, those guitars already.
Yeah.
It's got like kind of like Slipknot vibes.
Yeah. That's cool. I like the groove. That's what this band has such a great rhythm section. It just
Dude, his vocals
I mean,
right? Like a little Rage Against the Machine,
yeah. This song's gonna go so hard live.
Yeah. I guess there's a reason why there's 36,000 people.
Yeah.
what the fuck is this? Well, they shot a guy, man, just walk it off. Another genocide, man, just walk it off. No, this can't be right. Just walk it off. The fact that it exists, then what the fuck is this? Oh, you let the devil in.
I'm digging this a lot.
This is cool. Yeah.
Face just a parting gift, discarded on the street. Overrun, over the hills, over fields,
Just makes me want to like drink a Mountain Dew and run as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah, dude. I guess I didn't realize Stray was this cool.
Yeah, they're I mean they're heavy as hell, but they also have
But they walk that line where, yeah, it's heavy, but also, like, if you're not into, like, screaming music, it's not necessarily, like, super hard.
oh
It's
yeah.
not, like, death metal screaming.
No.
I don't look away. Faces of death, I face them every day. Reality fucks you up, but there's no other way through. Blood through, staring in the eyes and scream, fuck you.
All I can see is like
Scream, fuck you.
everybody is just like crowd surfing and like, you know, crawling on each other, screaming every single word of this
Walk
song.
it off.
It's gonna go crazy.
Just walk it off. This can't be right. Just walk it off. If it exists, then what the fuck is this? Just walk it off. Just walk it off. Just walk it off. If it exists, then what the fuck is this?
All right.
Dude, the guitar, like, screechy guitar that's throughout the whole song, sounds like it could be in a horror movie, right? And I guess,
Yeah.
like, it kind of matches the video, too, right? But that, like, it's just so cool.
Oh, that's crazy. That band, it's wild how big that band actually is. Like the people that just go crazy for everything that they release. Like you're saying, it has what 30-something thousand views in 2 days or a day or whatever. Like that's kind of nuts.
Yeah.
Who are they going on tour with? They're on tour with somebody right now. Might be like a UK thing. Spirit Box. It's one of those like massive, heavier bands, and they're out with them. And all I can think of is how sick that song must be live.
Yeah. And I think that's why a band like, you know, like Knock Loose and some of these other hardcore bands are becoming kind of like mainstream popular.
Yeah.
Is partly due to just the live show, right? Like it is something to experience, right? And I even think like Billie Eilish was side stage at a Knock Loose show because it's just like, what the heck is going on? Like this is so not what they're used to in like the pop culture world. And
Yeah.
like you mentioned, people are gonna be losing their damn minds to that song.
Yeah. It's so sad. It's like, I mean, look at Turnstile. Like a couple of years ago, Turnstile was playing just hardcore shows, and now they're like opening for Blink, and they're playing these like prime slots at these mega festivals. And it's all just they're so good live. Like you can't ignore how good that band is live. These guys are kind of that same thing.
Yeah. And I feel like Stray is also one of those bands that is bigger outside of the United States.
Probably, yeah.
I think like Germany and some of those European markets just eat that shit up. And
Yeah.
we all know that I'm not necessarily the hardcore guy on Bar Down Breakdown, but I can appreciate when it doesn't sound like every other hardcore band. There's definitely something that sets Stray from the Path apart from the other bands in that genre right now.
Yeah. I just go back to that. This has nothing to do with Straight from the Path, but you know that Limp Bizkit song where he's like putting bounce in the mosh pit.
Yeah.
Even when I was younger, I was like, oh, I like that. Like that's cool to me. I I mean, I am not going to be in a mosh pit ever again. But like the idea of it, and I'm like, oh, okay, like I get the like having some groove in like a heavier song. That's what I want to see, or that's what I want to hear. And that is definitely the vibe I get from Share for the Path. It's like there's more to it there.
Yeah, it kind of has what you would say like hip hop elements to it, right? It does have a bounce to it. It just
fun.
makes it's fun, and it's different than, like I said, a lot of the other hardcore that I come across.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if you can put them in that like hardcore category. I don't know. They're definitely
they're like
heavy,
in that,
but
they're heavy, but they're not like, it's not like metal, like super. I guess it depends on how you look at it. But like when I think of metal, I don't think of those guys. But I also definitely wouldn't put them in with like a, like a Madball or something. Like so it's kind of weird.
yeah. Shout out to Madball. We had Mitts on our podcast a while ago, which was just
Really?
like, yeah, oh yeah, unreal. Kind of.
Did you ever listen to the Hazen Street project that Freddie did with Toby from H2O?
No.
Dude, it's so good. It's like Chad from Newfound Glory played guitar, and like also I think he produced it. But it was like Toby and Freddie from Madball. They like, it's like a dual vocal band. They're kind of hardcore, but they're way closer to pop punk than they are to hardcore. And like, what's his name? The dude who is in Boxcar Racer, who has like the coffee company.
Okay.
The guitar player, he was in it, and they might have had another. It was kind of like a super group, but it was like this weird hardcore super group. They only put out one record, but it's so good.
Well, I love that kind of traditional hardcore sound, and I'm not sure if you're familiar with that band Koyo, because you're not necessarily kind of following some of the newer bands, but
I think they might have actually played with 4 Year Strong, or maybe they did their tour.
No, I think they did play maybe one of the holiday shows.
I think they did, yeah. I probably missed them, but I know that name definitely from something 4 Year related.
Yeah. But they kind of walk that line, like, is this hardcore? Is this pop punk? And it kind of sounds similar to the project, that you were just talking about.
That's cool. I'll have to check those guys out.
Cool, man. So the next band is called Tiny Voices. And
speaking of Boxcar Racer,
sometimes, like, Spotify just gets it, right? Because, like, on my release radar today, I wasn't following this band yet. And then it showed up towards the top of my release radar. So I was going through, like, stuff that came out. And I go down to, like, fans also like. And this was, like, on point with everything I've been listening to lately. And I was like, oh, thank you, Spotify. Like, Kerosene Heights, unbelievable. Moose Creek Park, who played year 3 of our festival, like, absolutely love them. Palette Knife, love them. Carpool, like, a lot of these bands are just, like, doing a lot of cool stuff in that Midwest emo world.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, this has got to be on the episode tonight. So I'm going in completely blind on this one. Than Spotify recommended it, and the fans also like is just stuff that I also like. So Spotify, good algorithm, you got it. But I instantly hit the following on my Spotify page, so hopefully it feeds me some more other bands in that world. But yeah, this song is Tiny Voices, Backseat Therapist. I believe they're from like the Wisconsin area, in case that matters. For me, that always matters. I just love knowing where bands are from.
I love knowing where they're from, but at the same time, like, the first, was it Villa? Was that the first band?
Yep.
Now that, like, you mentioned, like, I like knowing where they're from, I'm like, do I think that he actually kind of has, like, a Kenny from the Starting Line vibe? Or is it only because they're from, like, the New Jersey, Philly area where I'm like, oh yeah, he's got to sound like this.
But I do think that you know, Justin, our co-host, was saying like there was a Long Island sound.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
I do think that certain scenes, just because they're taking things from each other, borrowing things from each other, that they do end up developing their own sound. So coming from an area, I think, does sometimes influence
Oh,
kind of
totally.
the tunes you're putting out. But yeah, they are from Wisconsin.
Let's see what the Wisconsin sound is, because I have no idea what that could be.
Yeah, me either. But I'm assuming, you know, like Wisconsin's close to Chicago, could kind of technically be close to like Michigan area. So like it might have some of those just Midwest vibes. But either way, yeah, this is Tiny Voices Backseat Therapist.
Talking to myself if I could try to come up with the words to describe how I felt. Precious scars keep me reminded.
Definitely getting title fight vibes, which very much into.
Yeah.
Translate these demons into life. My mind
Yeah.
is choking faces showing perfect picture of health. Holding my breath has gotten me this far. The loudest silence drowning
I haven't seen
outside
a
of the
full
edge.
band in dude, I want to go back because I think that dude's rocking the inner love shirt.
Oh, really?
I think he is.
That's awesome.
Like the guy right in the back, I think he is. Yep, that's an inner love shirt. That's awesome. Spotify got it.
A mental notebook of my thoughts. Thousands of pages that burn in the back of my head. Provide
The smiley face mug. Smiley face was invented in Worcester, so maybe they've been there.
That's a real fact.
Yeah. It's a fact. Harvey Ball, the guy who created it.
I feel like that was just something that would be invented with mankind, right? Like when the human was
It was
created, I think the smiley face just automatically happened. I didn't know
Right.
that was a thing.
yeah. He was hired to make it for a logo for like a bank or something. He paid like $60. It's like the most famous logo of all time.
I feel like we're at the end of the song and now we're getting like two different vocalists. I love it.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like it's the only one listening. Run my temple, press the pain from the headache. Temperamental, choked up by transcribing my feelings. Terminal cycle, keep a list of the reasons that I won't change.
I kind of love that we're watching the video because this guy does not look how I would picture his voice to like have him look, and I love that.
Yeah.
That was awesome. That was fucking great.
That was great. I totally agree. And it is so funny though. Like we've mentioned that band Inner Love more than any of the other bands tonight,
Yeah.
and they're not even any of the music we're listening to.
That's so funny.
But yeah, I feel like it's been a while since I've seen a music video with, them all packed into a car driving around town. But
Yep.
it works. It especially makes sense with the name of the song, Backseat Therapist, that they're all in there. But yeah, I was totally blown away towards the end of the song. All of a sudden, we're introduced to two different vocalists that are killer, like
Yeah.
super good voices, and added a whole nother layer to that track. But yeah, that is definitely going to be on my rotation. But yeah, I went to their Instagram, and like the people that we have mutuals with is like so many of our friends. I'm like,
Really?
this so makes sense.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed that. And
He had a do you remember Polar Bear Club?
hell yeah.
That dude, his voice kind of reminds me of the guy from Polar Bear Club. It's that like raspy, kind of raw, like shouldn't be singing in a way because I feel like it hurts. But
Well, that's
I
what
love the
happened with the
sound of
dude
it.
from Polar Bear Club. Like he couldn't continue singing that way.
Oh, really?
Like physically was not able to. So
Oh,
one of their last albums does even sound like a Polar Bear Club album.
yeah, I remember that. I thought that was just like a creative thing.
No, it was like could not do it anymore.
Damn.
Yeah.
That bad.
But I love when a vocalist can kind of go back and forth between like singing and screaming, singing, screaming. And
Yeah.
to be able to do that is gotta be super difficult. I honestly just
imagine.
instantly think about Hot Mulligan because they're kind of at the top of the bands that are doing that right now.
Yeah.
But I think this band has that other layer, right? Those additional vocalists at the end. I am curious to go and listen to other tracks by them to see if they utilize that more.
Yeah. That'd be cool.
Because don't get me wrong, like the main vocalist has a killer voice, but sometimes having just a little bit of a change it complements the song and adds different layers and depth to it. I'm always looking for that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of like a good. I've been on like a weird brand new kick recently. Like I fell into brand new TikTok because I guess Jesse played some shows acoustic.
Did he?
And yeah, he played like I guess every year he does something at his wife's charity or something. And in December, I think, or January, yeah, I think it was December, they all got together and played. So they played like a full brand new set of like 6 songs. I fell into that version of TikTok and I was like, oh yeah, I guess I did like brand new. Like I always forget because they didn't like save my life. Like I have so many friends who that was their Beatles was brand new. That brand new was never that band for me. But then I went back and I listened and I was like, oh man, like, I did really love those first 3 records. But I was listening to Deja recently and I was like, when they do the trade-off of vocals, they don't sound super different from each other. And the band we just listened to is kind of the opposite, where like you can clearly tell
Oh yeah.
there's another person singing. And I love that.
Well, we were listening to the new 4 Year Strong song last week, or at least the video came out last week, Roller Coaster.
Yeah.
And that is a band that I can't tell the difference between the vocalists. Like they
Really?
Alan and what's it, Joe or Alan?
Dan.
Dan. Like
There is a Joe in the band, but doesn't sing.
for me, it just is so hard to pinpoint who's singing what parts. It sometimes just meshes together for me.
Wow. I can't. That's wild. I guess, I've seen that band so many times. And like they're Worcester guys, you know what I mean? It's like, it's hard not to see them. But I can like very clearly tell the difference in their voices, especially with newer material. The older stuff, it's you still can, but like I think it's only because I had that visual reference of going to see them in very small rooms. But like, yeah, wow, that's amazing that you can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
I'm sure me saying that about Brand New, somebody's probably like, "Are you fucking kidding me, dude? They don't sound anything alike," but they do.
Yeah. No, I totally get what you're saying. And I don't know how I feel about Brand New being back. Being a Long Island guy, I think it was a little close to home. Like some of the things that came out about Jesse, and it seems like they kind of went away. It feels like a PR move. And I'm just hearing about it right now because I had no idea that they were doing things. But like,
I don't know if they're
sounds like
officially doing stuff, but I know that they did something, and then he played something the other day by himself. So I don't know if it's like
I feel like it's a PR move to test the waters and see how people would react to them doing stuff. And they're doing it like kind of small, like
people from the comments seem very excited that they're coming back. For whatever that's worth.
But in my mind, I'm thinking, yeah, because enough time has passed and our brains work where we are fed new things one after another that some people probably don't even realize, like some of the crappy things that he's done in the past that have publicly come out and been like, they're legitimate.
Oh yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, like I said, I was never the biggest Brand New guy. But I'm sure we're not super far away from like a Brand New headlining when we were young type of move.
No, I could see it as well. And I also feel like a little torn about the whole like canceling a band thing.
Yeah.
Because Brand New was more than Jesse Lacey, right? Like there's 3 or 4 other guys that, from my understanding, were not shitty.
Yeah.
But they also got canceled, right? Like they got canceled by association. And I don't know how much they knew or didn't know, but like that sometimes is tough because there truly are some band members that probably don't know when their vocalist is being a shitbag. And they sometimes get looped in, and then their careers and things that they work so hard for are also down the shitter.
Just like, it's just gone. Like, I know that band also, I mean, they were like kind of on a bow out.
Yeah, but they could have easily been a legacy band as well. Because
absolutely.
You look at like a Bayside that's still around, a Taking Back Sunday that's still around. Some of those bands were kind of following a similar path, but they survived, and now they're pretty much at the point where they'll always be around.
Yeah. I mean, Bayside tours every single year. They always play very solid sized rooms, and they almost always sell them out, and it's always a good time.
Yeah. But. All right. Well, I guess we can bring it to North Carolina. This is something that I truly enjoy doing, is trying to find a North Carolina band to throw on. Because, I'm a transplant. I'm not from here. This wasn't my music scene. And when I first moved here, I thought it was garbage. I was like, there's no good music here. Like, I would go to shows when touring bands would come through, and there would never be a local band on any of the shows. I'm like, there just must be nothing here. But I was just looking in the wrong places. Like, I wasn't going to the right venues to find them. I wasn't really part of the community. And now that we've done this show so long and we've done our festival in North Carolina for 2 years, like, I do feel like I'm in touch, and like this is a band that kind of, once again, showed up because of the community, the people that they're associated with, and the other bands that they play shows with are all bands that I'm very familiar with. So I'm excited to check them out. But they come from the Wilmington area, which is like on the coast of North Carolina. They're Shallow Signals, and the track is Bleed for Me. But yeah, I have not listened to this track yet, so I'm super excited to see how this one goes. So let me fire it up.
I was not expecting the vocals to go that way.
Like, I'm sure that the comparison probably gets annoying, but I'm hearing Johnny Craig like instantly.
Yeah, absolutely.
What vocals, man?
Yeah, this dude's voice is incredible.
Yeah. I hate to say it, man. North Carolina is truly like the most underrated scene in the country.
That's crazy. Did they shoot this in like a storage container or something?
It does look like one. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
This dude is insanely talented. I like this whole song, but his vocals are amazing.
Yeah. What he's doing is just super impressive.
Okay. That was a ride.
That really was a ride, dude. Like,
Nothing about that was what I expected when it started. And it was when it started, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I get it. It's probably not my kind of music. But the fact that it then, like, I mean, paying more attention to his voice, I was like, okay, this dude clearly has a lot of talent. And then when it changed to him, like, screaming, I was like, okay, I need to know more. Like,
yeah.
Wow.
Unbelievable. And
that was very good.
The crazy, I'm not like a numbers guy. Like I do the ear test, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think necessarily like how many views or streams really like says much about a band. It just sometimes is like, did a band catch an algorithm? Is a band making TikTok videos every single day? Like some of that can skew numbers. But let's just talk about how many views this music video has. Okay?
Let's do it.
It came out 3 weeks ago, the video.
Okay.
116 views. Like, that should be criminal. Like, that vocalist, that should be, like, 30,000 views more.
I wonder if it's, like, I wonder what the views would be if you could see more of the band. Because, like, their faces were dark. You know what I mean? Like, the lights are cool, and I get what they were trying to do, but I wonder what, if those views would, like, you know, triple if you could see who's performing more. But
like, you mean like the YouTube algorithm is maybe filtering that out?
Yeah, but I think it's also like maybe people aren't watching it long enough, because like when it started in a way that my gut reaction was like, okay, like this probably is not going to be my favorite song of the night, and it wasn't, but it was definitely the one where I was like, this grew on me the entire time. But I wonder if other people watch the whole thing, or if you only hear the beginning, or if you only hear that first section of vocals, which sound drastically different from like where it goes. And I wonder what would have happened. And if you could see the band more, would you stay even just like 10 seconds longer, which would get you to that next vocal range? And it's then at that point, how do you turn it off, because you never know what's going to happen next.
Yeah, but totally blown away by that, because I went in not really expecting that either. The last band that we listened to from that Wilmington area was more of that, like, kind of, I would say, grungy Midwest emo sounding. So
Okay.
I kind of just automatically pigeonholed them
Yeah.
in that. But wow, I think that is a criminally underrated band. And I said that I instantly thought of Johnny Craig vocals, which in that world is like at the pinnacle, right? Like you got like
yeah, I mean,
Craig Owens, Johnny Craig, like Tyler Carter, like those.
Tyler Carter. That the entire time I was trying to figure out who that guy reminded me of, and it's the hat and the white jean jacket combo where I'm like, yeah, no, it's Tyler Carter.
Yeah,
That's the dude from Issues, right? Or
Yeah.
it was an issue. Yeah.
Yep. So when you get compared to those type of vocalists,
You have talent.
you have talent, right? Like,
However you feel about those guys and like the things about them that are out there, all three of them are phenomenal vocalists.
and I would put him up there. And when you think about those projects and how many thousands and thousands and thousands of fans they have, mostly because of the vocalist, right? Mostly because of the clean vocals.
Yeah.
You would automatically think a band like that would be blowing up.
Yeah.
And
I mean, they sound like they would fit perfectly on. I'm trying to think of like a rock radio station. I don't know if they exist anymore, but they just remind me of one of those bands that like would send you out from a commercial break, like new band of the week.
Yeah. There's no denying how talented that vocalist is, and I'm excited to go in a little deeper on them. But that was a nice surprise. This next track that I'm pulling up is not a new band for me. I'm very familiar with this band. We've had their drummer on our podcast multiple times. From Jersey. I don't know how far South Jersey, but I think they're also South Jersey. But they're called Friend Circle. And
Cool.
and I could see in your background, like you love Blink-182.
I do love Blink-182.
I think you're going to really like this band because, a lot of bands try to like bring that nostalgic sound back, but miss. So like they miss, right? It's hard to replicate. And it's easy to just be like, oh, that's like a Blink-182 knockoff, right? Like this band does it so well that I'm like, I kind of like them more than Blink-182. But they're in that world. Yeah, like they're in that world. And from my understanding, they had, it's a 3-piece, and they had another vocalist that left for a little while, but I believe he's back. And that was like one of my favorite versions of Friend Circle is when they had the dual vocalist. So I'm very curious to see. But some of the social media promo that they did was kind of like, sounded like they were taking stabs at podcasts. I was like, I hope they're not taking a stab at me, because Aaron's been on her show like multiple times. But we shall see. But yeah, this song is Friend Circle, Dream Guest. And I'm very curious to see, since you are a Blink-182 fan, what your thoughts are.
Love Blink-182.
See, I was never really a Blink-182 fan, so that is probably why what I said maybe sounded so outrageous to most people. Like I like this band more than Blink-182, but yeah, I'm curious to see, since you are a Blink fan, what do you think?
I'm so excited.
Podcast? Oh my god.
Karma's a bitch, I should have known better. If I had a wish, it'd be to burn this fucker down. I hate this song and everybody involved. Punk rock is dead. If you think that I'm relevant now,
I definitely like it. Is the Karma's a Bitch? Wasn't that like a not Miley Cyrus, but it was like another song, right?
I'm sure there's some pop culture references.
It's like a TikTok thing. I can like hear it, but I don't know who did it.
But yeah, the dual vocalist is back.
I dig it.
the internet can't tell me about rock and roll. Karma's a bitch, I should have known better. If I had a wish, it'd be to burn this fucker down. I hate this song and everybody involved. Punk rock is dead. If you think that I'm relevant now,
I would have loved that
Yeah,
in high school.
right?
Like, absolutely would have loved it.
that stupid t-shirt, the sunglasses on inside. Don't think that we can't see through those things you try to hide. It's not like you'd even notice or tried enough to care that you're like the nerdy dumb kid. Karma's a bitch, I should have known better. If I had a wish, it'd be to burn this fucker down. I hate this song and everybody
Yeah.
involved. Punk rock is
JoJo Siwa? It might be JoJo Siwa.
Okay.
I think it was because I could like see her dancing at like the Empire State Building or something to that song.
I wish they were in the chat so we can get confirmation.
Get asked. I know.
I should have known better. If I had a wish,
This guy
it'd be to
sounds
burn this
like,
fucker down. I
um,
hate this song.
do you remember the band Wakefield?
Everybody involved. Punk rock is dead.
It sounds very,
If you think
very
that I'm
familiar.
relevant.
This guy sounds like the singer from Wakefield. They were like a Good Charlotte's original drummer was in that band, and his brother was the singer, and that's who this dude reminds me of.
Karma's a bitch, I should have known better. If I had a wish, it'd be to burn this fucker down. I hate this song and everybody involved. Punk rock is dead. If you think that I'm relevant now. Karma's a bitch, I know you well. Karma's a bitch, I know.
I feel like I want to be at Warped Tour when the chorus kicks in and just like the whole crowd is jumping up and down. That's how I feel when I hear it. That song's insanely catchy.
Yes, and it reminds me so much of the 2002 pop punk, 2003 pop
Yeah.
punk. Like when we were freshmen in high school.
Hurley
Like-
t-shirts,
Yes.
long dicky shorts. Like,
Yes,
yeah,
Mhm.
no, absolutely.
it's nostalgic sounding, but these guys are young. Like they're a lot.
Yeah,
younger.
how old are they? Like significantly younger than us? I'm guessing.
I
they're
don't.
way
I
younger
don't
than
think
us.
they're. I don't even think they're in their 30s. Like I think they're younger.
Must be
in their
nice.
20s. Yeah. So
That's
to-
awesome. No, that was cool.
to see kind of, and I guess like Machine Gun Kelly kind of did it way like on the mainstream level, but
Yeah.
now we're starting to see other throwbacks to that sound, and that is a very like 2002, 2003 on a teen movie kind of pop punk.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah,
So
like that's like the opening scene from the movie with like the kids skateboarding to high school or something. Like
exactly. So it's cool to see how music goes in waves, right? Because we're basically like listening to classic rock. And like I was going to work today,
Yeah.
and I have a playlist that's only 2001 to 2005. Like that's the only.
That's genius.
Yes, that's all that's on the playlist. And I was like, this is by definition classic rock that I'm listening to right now.
Yeah, because it has to be what, like 25 years old, I think, to be considered classic or whatever.
Yeah.
It's 25 or 20, something like that.
And I just think about when, you know, we were in middle school and our friends' dads would like pick us up from the movies or whatever, and they'd throw in the classic rock and they'd be listening. You know, this was in the year 99 or 2000, and they're listening to songs from the 80s.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, like that.
This is old. Now that's us.
That's us.
Yeah, that's kind of insane, actually, to think about when you put it that way.
Right? Because we
yeah.
would just think like, oh, dad listening to this old rock, and it's like only 20 years old, and then I'm listening to stuff on this playlist that is literally older than that now.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
it's a hard one to swallow.
Nuts. Yeah, I never really thought about it that way. I guess, like, you know, we probably should think about it that way when all we do is go to like 20-year anniversary tours now. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
damn it.
Those are our nights out, going to 25th anniversary tours.
It really is. It's kind of insane.
But I'm having like real FOMO right now watching all the videos of the Emos Not Dead cruise.
Who's on that right now?
Kyoto's state champs, the Spill Canvas, Lydia,
Wow.
Taylor Acorn. Like, there's a bunch on there, and I'm just like, that is a dream vacation for me because I love going on cruises. But then also,
I've never been on a cruise, but I'm supposed to go on one in the fall, so it'd be my first one this year.
it's a lot of fun because it takes all the planning out of it. And when you have little kids, like, the last thing you want to do is plan more. Like,
yeah.
Once you're on the boat, everything is off the table. Like, all the planning's gone. Like, you could just kind of bounce around and everything's included and everything like that.
That's cool.
But the entertainment's kind of like cheesy.
Yeah.
Like, it's gotten better the past 10 years, but it's still like cruise entertainment.
Yeah.
But can you imagine being able to go on a cruise, but the entertainment's all the music you love? So, like,
well,
how sick is that?
They're like Paramore did a couple of those cruises, and like Bad Rabbits played on one, and it was
Did
like,
they?
yeah, it was Paramore, Newfound Glory, who was the other? There was another band that I liked a lot, and then there was like Me Without You, who I didn't love, but I liked enough to like I would definitely watch them on a boat, and Bad Rabbits was on it, and I was like, this fucking rules. Like, I would love to be on that.
Yeah.
But because I never really cared about the, like, I'm trying to think of like other bands that did those I know everybody's kind of done them now, but from like the emo world, I think Paramore is the only one that I know of.
Probably the only one that's big enough, honestly. For sure. To get like 3,000 people to drop thousands of dollars and a week, like PTO or whatever. But when it's kind of a mini festival, it kind of gets a little more people excited, and I'm super jealous. But they, of course, do it in the wintertime when I can't just pick up and go. But yeah, I want to so bad. But yeah,
someday
we're up to our last track. This band is out of the Charleston, South Carolina area. Kind of more on my radar because when my good friends in Out of Time and Justin, who's the co-host of Bar Down Breakdowns, old project, whenever they would do a run from like Orlando where they are to Charlotte to come play up here, Charleston's obviously like one of those markets
In that,
in that area
yeah.
on your way. So they've played Charleston a bunch of times, and the past few times they played with this band, Never Any Ordinary, and
Okay.
always speak very highly of them. And they just released a new track today, The Best of You. So figured since they speak so highly of them, might as well give it a spin.
Sweet.
Let's go ahead and add this to the stage.
I love this bass line.
Okay.
I like this a lot.
It even sounds like a little country.
Yeah, I can see that. I was not expecting horns to come in.
Okay.
Oh, I really like this.
Voice sounds familiar.
Yeah. Good tambourine action.
Bass is coming through there.
It sounds really good.
So a little bit of like Real Friends. That's what I'm
Yeah.
getting. Little Real Friends.
Real Friends with like the horns from like Aaron West and the Roaring Twenties project. I'm getting horn like that horn vibe, which love Real Friends, love Aaron West. This is very much in my wheelhouse. That's cool. That might have been my favorite song of the entire night.
Yeah, that was a pleasant surprise, man. Like that was dope. And towards like the end of the song, when his voice, it was like a tasteful crack in his voice.
Yeah.
Which
like I kind of like it. It's the
like
opposite of the other guy where we're like, his vocals are so good. Oh my god, what a singer! And then here it's like, oh, but that guy sounds like somebody I would go see
raw.
live.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that a lot.
I totally dig that, man. I'm like I said, Out of Time has played with them, and some of our other friends, as they made their way either down to Florida or vice versa, have played with them in the Charleston area, and that was really a pleasant surprise. I was not expecting, like you said, the horns and
Yeah, when the horns kicked in, I was like, oh shit, that okay, I love horns, but was not expecting it when that song started.
Yeah, and I kept the whole time I was trying to pinpoint the vocalist at like and what it reminded me of, and I think Real Friends is early
Yeah.
Real Friends is kind of where my brain is going, but
Yeah.
that
What's
was
the name of that? What's that Real Friends record? It's like the blue one with like the lamp on the cover.
yeah, the I'm so bad with
I want to
album
say it's
names.
like the big one, but like it's the one that I know the most. So to me, it's the big one. But I can't think of. That's my favorite. One of my favorite records from the last like 10 years. Actually, yeah, I think it came out in 2015. But
Yeah, maybe this place is the same, and we're just
we're
changing.
just changing. Yeah.
Yeah.
This band sounds like that era of Real Friends, which is my favorite era. Of Real
And
Friends.
what I gravitated to is like the same thing where I believe the guy's name is Dan, doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily have like the prettiest voice, but you could
No, but it fits that band so perfectly. They have a new vocalist who I haven't actually listened to any of the stuff with the new guy, but yeah, no, I know what you mean. Like, yeah, it's I don't know.
Just
It
raw
sounds like a
emotion.
person you know. You know what I mean? Like you like feel comfortable listening to that band.
Yeah. But honestly, like we had a bunch of bangers on this episode.
Dude, this is so much fun. Like there are so many cool new bands.
Yeah. I gotta update the playlist because it's just going to show, like I said, how underrated some bands are, and it's always fun to check out some new tunes with some homies too.
Yeah.
Especially, as you admitted, it's not so easy to kind of find that time to check out new music, and I totally get that, man. Like it's hard to find time, especially like when I'm driving in the car now, which used to be my sacred time, like to listen to new music. Now I'm like watching Miss Rachel and like all
Yeah.
of that crap.
We haven't gotten there yet, but I know that I'm not super far from that era of life with the little one.
So my oldest is 4 now, and I'm like waiting for the day where she like wants to listen to some of the music I like, because my friend
Oh, yeah.
Kevin, who's also has 2 daughters, but his daughter's a year older,
Okay,
has started to now request some of his music,
that's cool.
and I can't wait for that day.
I am trying so hard to get to like, so my daughter will nap really well to like reggae and then to like Kendrick Lamar. And I don't know why that's the case, but I love that that's a thing. But I started putting more like pop punk into the world for her, and she hasn't exactly gravitated to it just yet, but she will when she gets older.
So I thought it was going to happen. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Amazing Spidey show that's on Disney Plus,
No.
but Pete Wentz did the not Pete Wentz, but Patrick Stump did the theme song. And he
That's
actually
cool.
did all of the music throughout the whole show.
Oh wow.
And my daughter loves that. So I tried to then feed her Fall Out Boy. I was like, maybe this will be the progression. Like,
It's the same thing.
it's the same thing, right? Nope. She does
Oh.
not want that. She only wants the Spidey songs. And I'm like, I don't know if she's going to like any of my music. And that would be heartbreaking.
I knew nothing about kids' music. Like I knew it was like, super infectious, but I didn't know a single thing about it prior to having a baby. And the first couple times we did bath time, we would put on like a kids like bath playlist we found on Spotify. And there was this one kids artist that were like, the songs were super catchy and they were like good compared to the other ones. And I was like, why do I know this fucking guy's voice? Like it was driving me nuts. And so his name's Casper Baby Pants.
Okay.
And my wife ended up looking it up because it became this thing where we were like, dude, if Casper Baby Pants tours, like we're going. Like this stuff is good. Turns out it's the same guy from that band, The Presidents of the United States of America.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
It's that guy.
The Peaches guy, right?
The Peaches guy and Lump. It's the same guy. And I was like, oh my god, it is. It's that band, but for infants. Like it's kind of wild. But it got me thinking, like, hey, I wonder, like, now you saying that that Patrick did the Spider-Man stuff. It's like that makes sense. All of these guys write some of the catchiest songs of the last 30 years. Why wouldn't you do kids music, but make it good?
Yeah, no, it's a bop, man. Like that Spidey theme song is pretty sick. It really
check it out.
sounds like a Fall Out Boy song.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
I feel like I would have loved that when I was 15.
oh yeah, definitely. But Ricky, man, this was a ton of fun, and
It's a blast.
now that we are just like going rogue and just really becoming a music podcast, we're doing whatever we want. And I would love to get you back when the whole team is here as well, because I know Tom misses you as well. But
Tom's the best. Some
Yeah.
I love.
we always love following, even though we don't live in Worcester, but following you guys and seeing all the cool shenanigans that you get up to, and just this little podcast world and making friends with other content creators is just a bunch of fun. And
It's the best part.
it is. But I'll let you go so that you can still have a productive Saturday with the fam tomorrow. But Ricky, always a pleasure, man. I'll talk to you later.
This is fun. I'll see you later, man.
See ya.
Bye.